right, coaches, you saw the offensive habits on the court. Now let's talk some defensive habits. You know, many times when we think about defense, we think solely of the systems and strategy. But if our players' habits are better, our defense as a whole is going to be better. So what habits are most important to making your defense effective, and what are you doing to make sure that your player development is leading to those players obtaining those great habits? If you develop 2 or 3 or 4 great habits that you know are going to make somebody a better on-ball or off-ball defender, when you show up and actually work on your systems and strategies, they're going to go to another level. So we're going to go onto the court. I'm going to show you a couple of habits that are really important to us that we think is going to make our systems and strategies better. And if every player has these habits, then we're going to be better. So we're going to talk about what those habits are, you know, why those habits are important, and we're also going to dive into how we actually carry out those habits every single day. All right, coaches, I'm here with my assistant coach, Paul, and we're going to walk you through 3 defensive habits. I'm going to tell you what they are, why we choose this defensive habit, and how we instill it in the things that we do so that when we break it down with a player, they get good at it. So when they come back to the team, our systems and strategies are better because of it. Now, here's 3 that I really like. Now, you can choose whatever you want. It doesn't have to be those. But if your team has some core habits that you want to be good at on the defensive end, you've got to emphasize them all the time, every single day. And most importantly, they should be showing up in games. And so let's talk about the first one. The first one, the what, is hand above the ball. All right, why do we do this? Hand above the ball is really important. Paul's right there. He might shoot, he might pass, he might dribble. If my hands are down and he goes up to shoot, I'm the last one to raise up. I really don't contest that shot as well as I can. Also, if my hands are down like this and there's a cutter that goes through, Paul throws one over my shoulder right there. Look, my hand goes up late. I didn't get it there in time to contest that pass. Therefore, they're going to hit a cutter. Look, that could be 4 to 6 to 8 points a game. They make a shot because my hands are down. They hit a cutter, they feed the post because my hands are down, they get another bucket. Flip that over, I got a hand above the ball, he raises the pass and I tip the ball, the whole thing changes. Right? How many times can you save your team because you have a hand above the ball? They might not even throw it, but because you have a hand above the ball, they might not attempt it, or they might not see it. So having a hand above the ball can be really effective. Well, how do you make sure that happens every single day in practice? Obviously, you can drill them. You could just teach it. You know, the ball's there. We're just tracing the ball. The ball goes up. The ball goes down. I'm tracing the ball. I'm watching it wherever it might go. I've always got a hand above the ball. That's just a simple training technique. But then when you go into practice, go in, and every time they don't put a hand above the ball, the clock restarts. So we want to play 30 seconds of great defense. In that 30 seconds of great defense, if a player shows up with hands down, we restart it. They're going to understand that habit right there. Or we could also do this. Hands down, player shoots a shot, my hand goes up second, so it wasn't up first, it was up second. They get double the points. There's another way that you can make sure that it's happening. You've got to train it in everything you do. You can do that 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, team setting, doesn't matter. So the what is hand above the ball. Why? Because we're going to save a lot of buckets if we do that. And then how we're going to train it is we're going to put competition to it. We're going to put numbers to it. We're going to restart the clock because of it. There's a myriad of ways that you can make it happen. That's the first one. All right, the second one that we're going to go over is Gnaw pocket. Players are going to get beat. So we're going to work our way down the line. So farthest from the basket to closest to the basket. So if Paul was to beat me, he was to go out the dribble right here. A lot of players just give up on the play. They just step away and they're like, oh man, I got beat. They just kind of do it half-heartedly. Look, save your team 2 to 4 points a game. Every time you get beat, Gnaw pocket. Here's Paul's pocket. I'm going to gnaw at the pocket right here, and I'm going to put pressure on him. Why is Gnaw pocket important? So again, the what's Gnaw pocket? Why? Because if I stick with it, I keep fighting, I'm going to make him make a faster decision than he wants to because he feels the pressure. If I'm Gnaw pocket and he tries to drop the ball off, I can put a hand in the passing lane. If I just gave up on the play, he's got time. If I give up on the play, he's going to find cutters more easy. But if I continually gnaw at the pocket right here, I'm going to make sure that there's more pressure so that he has less time. Also, I'm going to tip a pass every once in a while. That could be 2 to 4 points a game. These are little habits that are going to make sure your defense is really good. How can you train this? You know, pretty similar to the other one. Go back, you work on the technique of training that, then you also put it into a game. If you don't gnaw a pocket, if you give up on the play, we restart the 30 seconds. So you could train that the same way that we train the other one of hand above the ball. Third one, getting closer to the basket right here. So let's just say that I'm the help defender. Paul's away right there. All right, he's driving to the basket. And I love this one. Show up angry and help every time. So many times we have players that come here and they just kind of, here, help, whatever. You know, they kind of show up. Look, that player got beat. This player's about to get a layup. If you go over there and help, they might drop it off to this player. The other player might get the offensive rebound. There's so many things that can happen. Save 2, 4, 6 points a game. Just show up angry. So when Paul comes here, I'm going to be really loud and help. I got you! I got you! Oh, look, all of a sudden, what did I do? I sped up his thinking. He made a quicker decision than he wanted to. He sees me coming at him versus me being on the defense. I'm flipping it to be an offensive, defensive player where I'm coming at him. I'm going to tip a ball. He's going to travel. He's going to charge. He's going to make a quick decision and throw a bad pass. So the what is show up angry, all right? Now, why do we do that? Because it's going to make him make worse decisions. That's why we do it. Now, how do we train it? Very similar to the first two. We're going to show up. We're going to come in. We're going to work on showing up angry. Look, we're going to work on their angry face. I want to see the most angry face you can. Go again, not angry enough. So we're going to make sure that that happens. Now, how can we drill that? We go into a game, we go into a particular time, and when the player comes to show up right here, if in the 3-on-3 or the 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 drill, whatever it is, we come here and we show up really angry. Whatever the words are that you use, the offense doesn't even get to continue. The play's over. We're just building it. So defense, how do you win? You show up angry, you get to go to offense. That's just one really simple way to train that every single time. The play is over when the help side shows up angry. So that right there is 3 different habits that I really love. Again, yours can be different. It can be something completely different that apply to your defense. Maybe you play zone, maybe something else is more important. That's fine. But here's the point. Have defensive habits. When your team has defensive habits that you're working on every day in your skill development, when you show up to practice, your 5-on-5 systems, they're going to look better when every player shows up with a hand above the ball because you've been working on it in your player development. They're going to be better when everybody gnaws pocket. They're going to be better when everybody shows up angry. You want your skill development habits on the defensive end to show up to your systems and strategies so that you can be a dominant defensive basketball team. All right, coaches, so we got to take a look at a couple of our defensive habits. Again, yours may be different, but you want to make sure you know what your defensive habits are. Otherwise, you're going to get into practice, you're going to get frustrated that your system strategies aren't working, but you haven't taught the players, you haven't given them the habits necessary to be successful. And so pick out the habits that matter to you most, and on a regular basis, you want to tie those back to, why. Like, why does this make our defense better? You're going to tell them that, you're going to show them video of that, and then the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the how, like how you're building that out every day. What are the drills we're using? What are the teaching mechanisms that we're using? What are all of the things that are going to re-emphasize and rebuild or build the habits that are going to make us a championship defensive team?